This week, we can hardly believe it. We've seen the Warcraft movie and we can't wait to tell you all about it. Mike prepares for next week's festivities as he looks back at his favourite E3 shockers, and we spend even more time in space with brand new strategy experience Stellaris. This is Player Attack. Hi, I'm Jessica Citizen, and this week everybody is playing Overwatch. If you're among the 7 million gamers worldwide who have logged more than 120 million hours on the game since the beta, you'll likely be pleased to know that Blizzard is working on a way to let you save and export your game highlights. At the moment, you can save up to 5 highlights at the end of your game, but you can't actually do anything with the recordings without using third-party software. Happily, Blizzard is working on a fix which will hopefully see you able to save these highlights and share the few-second videos with your friends. A game that's been given a heavy update now, though, is The Sims 4, which has just received one of the most exciting changes in the franchise's decades-long history. Finally, the team at Maxis has flipped the switch, adding some amazing expanded gender customization options. While the immediate benefit is an increased wardrobe for both male and female identifying Sims, as well as unlocking all the makeup options for the boys, the changes actually run much deeper. You can now change your character's physical frame, clothing preference, walk style, and tone of voice, as well as deciding whether or not they can use the toilet standing up. The seemingly trivial tweak required updates to hundreds of pieces of content, with Maxis working closely with GLAD to help make sure that all the changes were respectful. It's not the first game to include a setting like this. Sunset Overdrive included gender-fluid clothing options, but it's certainly the biggest, and it's great to see The Sims give gamers something they've been asking for since before the game even hit shelves. Moving on, and there is a new Fable game on the way, even though it's probably not the one you were expecting. Fable Fortune is a digital card game made by a bunch of ex-Lionhead developers with Microsoft's blessing. According to reports, a small team at Lionhead had been working on the card battler for a year and a half before the studio was unceremoniously shut down earlier this year. The game was never officially announced, let alone released, but that same bunch of developers just didn't want to see it die. So now there is a Kickstarter where Flaming Fowl Studios is asking for £250,000 to finish what they started. Go pledge! The full game is anticipated early next year. With E3 just a few days away, it's fair to say that the hype train is well and truly in motion. Remember when Nintendo said that it wouldn't be doing much at this year's expo outside of The Legend of Zelda? Turns out that was only referring to the show floor. Online, there is a whole lot on the way from the Big N, with a pair of day-long streams featuring Pokemon Sun and Moon and Pokemon Go, Monster Hunter Generations, Dragon Quest VII Fragments of the Forgotten Past, and Tokyo Mirage Sessions FE. That all kicks off on June 14 at 9 AM Los Angeles time. Even after all that, though, one thing that Nintendo will not be showing off at E3 is its brand new NX, but hasn't stopped the rumour mill from continuing to tick over about it. This week, we've heard that production on the new hardware from Nintendo has been delayed into mid-2017 so the company can implement VR features. We still know very little about the NX, which is believed to be part handheld, part home console experience, featuring both a display screen and a controller. That said, the NX might be the only new console that's not being shown off. Sony's press conference is expected to include details of that new PlayStation 4K Neo console that we keep hearing about, while it's anticipated that Microsoft will use its conference to unveil its new hardware too. Of course, the company is still keeping awfully quiet about the new machine, believed to be codenamed Scorpio, but the E3 website might have let a small part of the secret out a bit early. The official Expo website breaks companies down by category, including platforms. So there's one for PlayStation 4, one for Wii U, one for Xbox One, and now there's one for Xbox One VR. There are 4 companies signed up: Rebellion, Maximum Games, Readily Information Company, and 3D Rodder, but none of them are talking either. And now, movie news, and there's a few interesting bits this week. First up, work on the Ready Player One movie continues, with filming reportedly starting later this month. Key roles have now been filled. Ty Sheridan plays Parzival, Olivia Cook is Artemis, Japanese newcomer Win Morisaki is Dato, the BFG himself, Mark Rylance, is Halliday, Simon Pegg is his personal partner, Ogden Morrow, and Ben Mendelsohn is set to be the bad guy, Nolan Sorrento. Excitingly this week, we've learned who will play iRock, one of the game's major griefers, none other than TJ Miller from Deadpool, Yogi Bear, and Silicon Valley.
If you want to live here, you've got to deliver. Like Steve.
Jobs or Wozniak? Steve Jobs or Steve...
No, I heard you.
Which one?
Jobs.
Jobs was a poser. He didn't even write code.
The comedian specialises in playing, well, annoying characters, so setting him up as an internet troll is kind of perfect casting. Not sure about how perfect the casting is in Dead Rising Endgame, but Jesse Metcalfe is back in the sequel to the somewhat ridiculous Dead Rising Watchtower, and it is due to hit Sony's Crackle online service on June 20th. The story is simply more of the same. It's loosely based on Capcom's franchise, so you can expect some good, messy fun, this time with Billy Zane as a scientist who uses zombies as guinea pigs for his own cruel experiments. And finally, Tom Clancy's The Division is the latest game to get the Hollywood treatment, according to reports, with Donnie Darko's Jake Gyllenhaal on board both to star and produce. It wouldn't be the first time the actor has played a key role in a Ubisoft adaptation. He also played the title role in 2010's Prince of Persia: The Sands of Time, which, with a Metacritic score of 50, was perfectly average. Still, that Swords and Sandals epic was quite different to this new gritty take on New York, which has broken Ubisoft records for the highest number of first-day sales, generating $330 million globally in its first week. No further details as yet, but we will keep you posted. And for more information on any of these stories, or to keep up to date with the latest gaming news, head to playerattack.com. But for now, stick around, got plenty more still to come.